the compound inequalities, and then we will be solving the compound inequalities. So I think we can start directly. Let's have a look at the example. Right, have a look at this one. We've got a compound inequalities, right? Then here we've got a x minus 4 in the middle. Then as we already talked about the compound inequalities, if it looks really tricky, what you need to do is just cover the one part. Then we can see x minus 4 is less than or equal to minus 5, right? Then let's cover the other part. That you can say x minus 4 is less than 3. Then let's write this down so we can have one part. We've got this, and then middle we've got and then x minus 4 is less than 3. So we can see two separate inequalities that we already practiced to solving inequalities in previous lesson, right? Let's do one by one. Let's focus on the first inequality. Since you've got x minus 4, we are going to isolate x, so let's add 4 onto the minus 4. You directly find the answer for this inequality, that is x is more than or equal to minus 1. Then let's move on to the second inequality. Then to find the x, let's undo the minus 4, adding 4 same. So x then is less than 7. Then let's put them together. Since and means put them together. So x in the middle. Then you've got a more than equal to minus 1 one side, and you've got a less than 7 the other side. Let's put them on the number line. So this is actually solution for this compound inequality. So your answer for x will be all the numbers between them. So starting by the minus 1, then we have a closed circle since it has got equal to, then goes to the right side up to 7, right? Then we will have an open circle. Then I'm just going to shade this with the yellow one. Then this is the solution for the compound interest. Then let's have a look at another one. Again, just cover the one part. Can you clearly see that? Then cover the other part. We can see two inequality, that is 2x is more than and equal to minus 8 and 2x is less than 6. Now let's solve the inequality separately. So let's undo the times 2. That means divide by 2. So x and half over 8 is minus 4. Then we can see our x. Then now next one, let's divide by 2. Then x is less than 3. Let's put them together. Our final solution will be satisfying both of inequalities, right? So now minus 4. Then you can have x is greater than or equal to minus 4 and less than 3. Good job. Now let's put them on the number line. So have a closed one, open circle, then let's connect them together. Then these are the answer for this compound inequality. Then I have a question. So when we solve this, we actually separate the inequalities. Then my question is there any simpler way to solve these inequalities? Every time when we see the compound inequalities, should we separate them and solve independently? So, since we divide by 2, have a look at it. We both divide by 2 to the both inequality. Shall we just simply divide by 2 on the 3 sections, since we've got 3 parts, right? Then now we can see 2x divided by 2 is x, 6 divided by 2 is 3, minus 8 divided by 2 is minus 4. Then you simply can come up with the answer. Let's compare, is it working or not? Let's have a look at the previous one. Yes, this is the same, right? So now, since we know that, we can treat them as the same parts. So let's try this one. So what we're going to do is we don't separate them into the different inequalities. Let's do it all together. Then have a look at the middle one. We've got a 2x minus 4, and then we've got 3 sections, right? Then to solve this compound inequality, what should we do? Should we divide by 2 first, or should we adding 4? which operation do you think we need to do first? Just think about your equation. Do you remember the reverse order of operation? Yeah? When it comes to solving equation, you need to use the reverse order of operation. Normally, order of operation will be BODMAS, bracket orders, then multiplication, division, then addition and subtraction. But reverse order of operation is, we mentioned before, then set mode, right? So we must do the subtraction and addition first, then move on to the division and multiplication. So that means we need to do the plus 4 first, right? Then after that we need to do the division, right? So let's add 4 first, then now adding 4 to 3 parts. Then what will happen? Then we can have a 2x in the middle. Then now plus 4 makes minus 4, right? Then let's just copy down our symbol. Then 10 plus 4 makes 14. Then now next operation will be divide by 2. So let's divide by 2 and the 3 numbers, 3 sections. Then divide by 2 is minus 2, then 7. Then now we come up with our answer. That is x is greater than or equal to minus 2 and less than 7. Let's put this on the number line. So all the answers are true for this inequality. Now this time we're going to talk about the different things. So inequalities with the negative variables. So what's negative variables? Have a look at this. Negative variables means the variable is a x, right? But you've got a minus x, right? So let's talk about minus x means what? You've got a minus 1 in front of x. That's your coefficient is a minus 1. If you got minus 3x, that means minus 3 is a coefficient. And all these numbers are negative. But so far we deal with all the positive numbers. Then now since you've got a minus numbers in front of your x, then let's see what will happen. So let's just solve this inequality using our normal way. So first of all, let's do the plus 1 by taking away 1. Then we got minus x. Then minus 2x is less than or equal to 4. Then now, let's see, since we've got minus in front of x, so we don't want to have a negative in front of x because we're isolating x. What shall we do? Then, if you want to make the negative number as a positive number, what do we normally do? We divide all times by minus 1, right? So let's times the minus 1 so that we can have a x. And then the other side, we can have a minus 4. And then let's copy down our symbol. Let's see what will happen, okay? Let's test it because we don't know how to deal with the negative variables yet. Now let's find our x. Since x is smaller than or equal to minus 4, so all the x can be minus 4, minus 5, minus 6. Then 2, in order to test whether the inequality is true, you need to pick up a 1 of value x, then put it back into the inequality. Then if it's true, then that's right. So let's test it. I'm going to choose minus 5 and then substitute minus 5 into the x, and my inequality will be minus 1 minus 5, because instead of x we put minus 5, right? That is 5. Then let's see what number do we have. This is a 6. Then our final inequality is 6 is less than or equal to 5. Is it true? No, it's not true. That means your x is wrong, right? Now we need to think again. This is not the right solution. Then now I'm going to tell you how to deal with the negative variables. So here. So now this is how we deal with the negative variables. So now multiplying or dividing by a negative value, then you must reverse your symbols. Okay, so let's see how we do it. Now, so when you multiply or divide by the negative value, you must reverse your symbols. That means your more than sign will be less than, then your less than sign will be more than, and then equal to as well. So now let's do this together. Since you've got a minus x, we know the minus x is less than or equal to 4, right? Then now from here, we multiply the negative number, right? Then what will happen here is minus 1 times x minus x will be x, then minus 1 times 4 will be minus 4. Then don't copy down the symbol, you must flip it. So reverse it. Then less than equal to sign will be turned into more than equal sign, right? So this is the right solution for the equation. Then let's double check whether it's working. Then these are the numbers that let's see. I'm going to choose x equal minus 3, then see it's working. Then 1 take away minus 3, that is the less than equal to 5. That this is a 4, then 5. Yes, 5 is less than or equal to 5, right? So this is true. So we can say the solution is right. So remember, when you times or divide by the negative number, always reverse your symbols. Now this time, since we know that when we times or divide by the negative number, then we need to flip the symbols, right? That let's use that knowledge to apply our compound inequalities. So you've got a compound inequalities. Then have a look at it. In front of x, you've got a minus 5. That means we've got negative variable. Now, let's have a look at this. Let's undo the plus 11. So let's minus 11. Let's do the take away 11. Then we've got minus 5x. Then we can have a minus 15. The other side, let's take away 11. Then we can have a 10. Then next operation will be divide by minus 5. Then what do we need to do? Then we reverse the symbol. So now minus 15 divided by minus 5 is 3. Then now that could be minus 2. Then we can have an x in the middle. Then be careful, we flip the symbols. Then writing down the x. Then the answer for this compound inequality will be x is quite tricky to read now, right? X is more than minus 2 and x is less than or equal to 3. So then let's show this on the number line. Try to find the numbers. Minus 2, open circle, and 3, closed circle. Let's connect them together. Then all the values inside this section will be the answer, right? So possible integer values will be not minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3 will be included. So this will be our answer. Okay, now this is our last question. Let's have a look. So given the x and y are integers such that you can see inequalities that x is greater than 3 and less than 7 and y is greater than 4 and less than 9, then we know the relationship between x and y. X plus y is certain, so you can see inequalities and equations. So let's have a look at it. So we need to find all the possible values of x. Look, we need to use all our skills for dealing with the inequalities at the same time equations as well, because we can see. Now let's begin with our equations. So look, if this is finding the value of x, then we've got equations regarding the x and y. What we can do here is it's all about x. Let's change y into the expression of x. Then we can say y is equal to 30 minus x. Then what about, let's put 30 minus x instead of y. Then everything is turned into the x, right? So let's put it in the number 2 inequalities. Then we can get new inequality. That is 30 minus x is greater than 4 and less than 9. Then let's organize it. Let's simplify. Since we've got a 13, so let's take away 13 to the 3 parts. That we can have minus x, then that is a minus 9, and this part will be minus 4. Then now let's times by minus 1 in order to have only x. Then remember, times it by the negative number. So just be careful that we need to, look, this is my answer. We need to reverse the signs, right? So your new inequality will be x is greater than 4 and less than 9. So now, look, have a look at this. Now we have two inequalities regarding x, right? Then, now, this is sort of a compound inequality. Let's show these answers on the number line. Then we need to find all the possible x's that is true for the both compound inequalities. So let's talk about the first compound inequality. The x is between 3 and 7, right? All the x's between them is true for the first inequality. Then now our second compound inequality is all the x's between the 4 and 9. These are the answers for the second compound interest. Then we're looking for the possible values of x that is that satisfy the number 1 and number 2 compound inequality, right? That means we need to find the numbers that are the common for both of them. Then can you see the yellow part? That all the numbers underneath the yellow one will be the answer. Then since 4 and 7 is not included, that's why the only integers we can see is 5 and 6. So your answer is 5 and 6. Right, so this is the end of the lesson. Then we solve the compound inequalities, and we also talk about how to deal with the negative variables. When you divide or times by the negative number, what will happen? Then you must reverse your symbols, right? Then just remember that this is very important because most of the students, they made silly mistake a lot with dealing with this negative signs, okay? Always flip your symbols when you times or divide by negative number. Right, this is the end of the lesson. Okay, bye-bye.